Good morning, everyone. This is Willie Crawford, and I'd like to welcome you to the podcast today. Today, I've got two special guests that I'm anxious to learn from as I uh, learn more and more about them. One is Sharon Kinnier, and the other one is Melody Wigdahl. I've known Melody for a while now. I noticed that she started right as I did, but I was still active duty military at the time, so I had another 6 years before I went full-time internet. But let me tell you a little about them. Sharon is the founder of PLR Profit Academy and a leading voice in the digital product and automation space. With a unique blend of creativity and tech-savvy strategy, Sharon teaches solopreneurs, educators, and digital creators how to repurpose private label rights, PLR content, into profitable, purpose-driven products. He specializes in designing and implementing custom AI-powered robots that handle tasks like blogging, voice production, social media, and visual content, helping online businesses run smarter, not harder. Through hands-on workshops, powerful templates, and practical training, Sharon empowers her audience to simplify their content workflow and sustainable income with confidence. Before diving into digital space, Sharon built a successful line of natural products that are still selling today. Wow. Using credibility and ingenuity to meet market demand and build lasting value. With a strong background in IT, she brings both the technical know-how and visionary creativity to every project she touches. And Melody Wigdahl, a self-confessed nerd and lifelong entrepreneur. Melody is the founder and CEO, Chief Everything Officer of the PLR of the Month Club. While she creates a wide variety of digital products, her main focus for the last several years has been unique and feature-rich digital planners for iPad and notebook users. An early internet adopter with over 25 years in the fintech space, she signed her first e-commerce client in 1996 and eagerly jumped aboard the AI train when it rolled out. Melody strongly believes that AI can level the playing field for homepreneurs, making it easier and more affordable for them to scale their home-based ventures. With her partner, Sharon, she hopes to make AI-powered robots and the growth potential they offer to small businesses accessible to everyone, everywhere. Understanding and working with AI should be viewed as the path to success, not the barrier. Melody and Sharon, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Willie. Appreciate your invitation. Happy to be here.
Sure. And you guys both experts at topics near and dear to my heart. I too I'm learning AI and into agents, and so I'm anxious to maybe even attend some of your workshops in the future. And I use PLR to create a lot of products too because it's an excellent shortcut. Someone else has already done the research for you. But let me. I have a couple of questions I have for you, and you can jump in there as you want to, and you can take over the conversation if you want to. Uh, You both have successful businesses as content creators. What made you decide to pivot into the AI realm?
Sharon, you want to take that first?
The first thing that I want to say is I am a techie geek, really geeky girl. And anything new that's going to ease my life, ease my workflow, I'm going to investigate it. And this was so easy and so much fun. And the biggest way to create content, of course, is to learn something and then teach it. And Melody had started in AI as well. And one day we were having a general conversation and we were talking about how much fun we had. I was telling her about some of the robots that I had done, and that we really needed to think about making some money with this because everybody else was. And
Yes.
that's kind of how we got started. But Melody is just as into AI as I am. Don't let her fool you.
Okay.
That is absolutely true. And yeah, it was for me, I'm just turned 71 this summer, so not exactly a spring chicken. I had been heavily into design work, designing digital planners, as mentioned in my bio, for people who use iPads and notebooks. And I had been doing a lot of design work since about 2017. And age caught up with me. I started having carpal tunnel issues with my wrist, and I realized I was going to have to make some serious changes to my core business. So I started looking at AI and how it could help lighten that workload and give my hands and my wrist a little bit of a break. So I was taking a deep dive into that. And as Sharon mentioned, we started this conversation one day and realized that we both had this same love for both PLR and the technical side of things. And I've been, like I said, a lifelong nerd. So this pivot for me was very natural. And Sharon and I kind of laugh because we have some rather esoteric taste in music and different things. It's like we're sisters by another mother kind of situation. So it's
Yeah.
the pivot has been from me, it was kind of out of necessity, trying to find ways to lighten the workload physically, which AI has done a fantastic job for me. And secondly, it has been a pivot of fun. Learning what we're doing and working with Sharon has been an absolute delight. And we're having a lot of fun. Sharon mentioned, you learn first and then you teach. We are teaching our demographic, the over 55 crowd, the people who are looking for a second career or, something to supplement their retirement income. And let's face it, who wants to retire at 65 anymore? Nobody does. We all want
Nobody.
to keep going and keep doing things. And so that's kind of been our focus, is this sort of, little older demographic. We want to let people in our age bracket know that AI is not for the 20 somethings. We're here learning and using it and having fun and making money with it. So,
Right. And
Yeah,
one of the first things we did with AI is we created an automated blog writer. Her name is
yes,
Blogsy. And I wanted to create that because my love for PLR, I'm constantly screaming from the rafters, PLR is not dead. If you can't come up with a new idea for PLR, don't blame it on PLR. It's your lack of imagination or your lack of choosing to go out and make a
yes,
change. So Blogsy is an AI generated robot that goes out and gathers topics. She will gather the topics of the day and then write a blog post for you and drop
sure.
it in your Google Doc, ready for you to actually read it and change it if you need to. It will also create an image from DALL-E 3. So Mel, that was the first one that Mel and I came up with, and we got amazing success with that. And I think she's
Yes,
still our best-selling robot. Uh,
yes.
but it's just taking something that simple to turn PLR on its head so that you can get something new and fresh from it. And you can actually see how AI is going to benefit your business.
I like that, the Blogsy idea. In fact, I've seen people do the same thing, have the robot go or AI go out and scour the internet, bring back the headlines for the day or whatever, and then they put out a newsletter from that. And that's
Mhm. Yes.
automated. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
beautiful.
we have robots that will do a podcast for you. We have a robot that will do email for you. We have one that will actually scour the internet and bring you leads, um, email addresses, and you can get them from anywhere, any zip code. I mean, it's just so many parts of our everyday life that we've actually figured out how to make AI a part of that.
Wow, wow.
And
And
for the solopreneur or the homepreneur, you know, it takes time out of your day to do all of these things manually. So many people have blogs that are sitting there just kind of getting moldy on the internet because they don't have the time and the energy to go after keeping them updated. With something like Blogsy, now it's automated and it's not replacing anybody. What it is doing is it's enhancing the time that we have available. It makes being a homepreneur or a solopreneur actually a viable business instead of something that takes over your life. And so our goal basically is to help people like us who work from home actually have a life, because that's why we started our home-based businesses. But for so many of us, it became the only thing that we had time to do. So, yeah, and this is where automation can now step in and take over so many of these tasks and actually, make life easier and make the struggle a lot less. And that's what our goal is.
yeah, two things there is I've noticed a lot of us people in our demographic. I'm 66. Um, they're intimidated by AI.
Yes.
and it's
And
nothing
there's
to
no
fear,
reason to be.
right? And in fact, the people that say AI is going to take their job, AI is not going to take their job. I guess the saying is, uh, people who learn how to use AI might take their job. AI won't.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
absolutely.
I think people
And,
like that give AI way too much credibility. It's not a sentient being, so it's not going to think. So those ideas of yours are still original ideas. It can just make those ideas better.
although I do use it to not think, but to coach me, actually,
Mhm.
it knows
Hmm.
my personality. And so,
Right.
because I've trained it,
Yes.
and this is chat GPT in particular. And
Mhm.
so I'll ask it for advice, and it gives me. I'm working on a project right now that's a course on how to rank and rent websites, and it knows everything I've told it about the course. And so every time it does anything for me, its memory suggests uses that
Yes.
fits in with my course. And to me, that's a wonderful thing. It's almost too helpful. Yeah.
No, we can totally identify with that. One of our first launches was something called Nimble AF asterisk bots, and the AF stands for automated and fabulous.
Mhm.
And we have trained ChatGPT, who has been with us from the inception of the very first bot project that we launched, and it now has the voice that we have developed for our bot line, and that voice is very specific. It is very engaging. It is fun. It's a little cheeky. It's a little smart aleck.
Mhm.
And that is the voice that we wanted, because we wanted to take the intimidation factor out of the bots. Okay. So we want
Yes.
them to be friendly and approachable kind of attitude. And now when I go to chat and I say, "Hey, chat, how are you this morning?" Because, we all say hello and thank you to chat, right? And
Yes.
so when I go to chat to start a new project, it automatically knows that nimble AF voice that we write everything in. And so it's been a lot of fun, because now the more I work with it, the less work is required from my side, because it
Right.
knows what I want. And we can create sales pages that used to take me, I hate writing sales pages.
Mhm.
And it used to take me days to massage that copy until I got it to the point that I wanted to release it. Now the copy is written, and massaging it takes minutes instead of days. And that's, that from my perspective, that's a huge difference. I mean, that's life-changing time that you're getting back. So let's face it, when you're 71, you're looking to get back as much time as you can.
Yeah, although I study people who are into longevity, and I read a book a long time ago called "To Live Long Enough to Live Forever," because every year some new cure comes out for whatever disease, and so
Yeah.
the diseases that used to kill us, a lot of them no longer do. And if you live long enough, you can live forever. Um, and you mentioned just living life and enjoying life. I have had several people in recent days ask me, "So when are you going to retire? You have your military pension and Social Security, and I've got intellectual property." And they're like, "You have enough money to live on." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I want to earn more just to give it away if I want to, or create generational wealth and pass it along to my great grandkids." So
Mhm.
I don't think I'll ever retire.
I think I mentioned to you yesterday, my mother is 91, and
Mhm.
she keeps asking me, "When am I going to stop working? When are you going to stop working?" Like, I have to do that at some point. I love what I'm doing. I'm having more fun right now with what Sharon and I are doing than I've had in the last decade. So why do I want to quit? I mean, there's too much going on. And I think the best part of understanding AI and understanding and being a part of this new community that we're all building together is I have three grandsons, and I can sit down and talk to my grandsons about AI, and they're impressed that grandma is out here creating
Yeah,
and selling AI,
Right.
So, I there's a lot to be said for being able to communicate with this generation. And I think if you're going to sit on the sidelines and not be engaged with what's going on, you're losing a huge part of what today's life is all about.
right.
So,
Yeah, AI is in everything from what's the app called where you just talk to it and say, turn on the lights or whatever, and it does. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people don't recognize how long AI has been part of our life.
Yes.
Siri has been around
Right.
for, right? And that was AI, but people didn't recognize it as AI. It was just an assistant or someone who could make a phone call for you,
Yeah.
or, you know. But it's those kinds of things that just kind of edge their way into our world. And now that they're calling it what it is, it's almost as if it's brand new, and it's nowhere near being brand new.
Oh,
No, no.
I've had my little Alexa pod there from Amazon for probably what, 7, 8 years now, maybe even
Yeah,
Mhm.
longer. So yeah,
right.
So it's very
yeah.
much a part of our lives. How do you guys come up with new ideas for your AI projects? Do you
We
survey your
look at
audiences? Go ahead.
Well, we look at what we need, and then
Hmm.
we wonder if that could be automated. And then we go to chat. We now have several ideas, and we work those through. And then, depending on whether we're going to try to make a plugin, whether we're going to try to make an app, or whether we're going to try to make a robot, depends on the application that we'll use. We use Base 44 for programs. We use WordPress for plugins, and we use Make.com for our robots. There are a lot of other platforms out there, but Make.com is the most simple and easiest for people to grasp. And since we sell our robots with PLR, we want our people to be able to go in and adjust them to what they need, and Make.com is the easiest one to teach.
Okay. Okay.
One of the things that's kind of interesting too, and Sharon and I are both guilty of this, you find that once you get involved in this and once you learn what you can do with, what they call vibe coding, creating apps without having to be a coder, um, everything that you look at, and we both take an extraordinary number of newsletters, for example,
Yes.
everything that you look at, you go, we can make an app out of that. We can make a bot out of it. It sort of becomes addictive, and
Yeah.
but in a very good way, and it's an awful lot of fun. And also, one thing I want to mention too, there's a lot of confusion between using chat and the GPTs that you can create with Chat GPT versus bots. And bots are kind of like the fully automated version of a GPT. A GPT still resides at OpenAI. You've got to go in and interact with the GPT and ask it questions, give it instructions, etc. With a bot, you essentially train it and then kind of let it go. It can go out and keep doing those things in an automated manner. So, Blogsy, for example, once you train Blogsy on the kind of content that you want it to create, the schedule that you want it on, you don't have to touch it again. It's going to go out and create that content over and over again. So, a bot you don't have to interact with every single time. It's going to take action on your behalf. And a GPT, it requires that human interaction for every task that it sets.
Okay. And different types of AI also operate at different levels of independence. I mean, I've seen some that you just say, do
Yes.
this, and it'll go out and take over and do the whole project. And others will
Yeah.
pause and say, well, how am I doing so far?
Right.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm getting in. I'm not that techy, but I've been on computers since college when we used punch cards. And then I went into the
Yes.
military in '83 and I was on PCs then. I messed up a number of times, like I formatted a hard drive once, the main hard drive. And
Oh,
yeah,
Ooh.
but that's how you
But you
learn.
only do that once, right?
I
Yeah.
only did that once, yes. And the NCO I was working with, he patiently reloaded all of the system. It took him about 3 days
I was
to
going to
fix
say
My goodness.
that was during the
yeah,
days of Windows 3.0, where you had like 40, 50 disks just to get Windows on the system.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So yeah.
But I don't consider myself techie, but I did once own a web hosting company, and so until I ran that into the ground, I didn't run into the ground. My chief of tech support, who was working with the company when I purchased it, he passed away, and he had set up
Oh,
things his own way, and so things just started failing because he'd
Um,
have DNS set up on a system that had nothing to do with my hosting company. For example, he just set things up in a non-standard way, and all of his customers just fell apart when he passed away. But
Wow.
that's so you do, I guess, need to know some things about your business. 'Cause I purchased that business as an ongoing operation, and it was a learning experience. But yeah, coming up with new ideas. You mentioned, taking a lot of newsletters and things like that. I find myself unsubscribing from things lately because I follow so many YouTube channels and I subscribe to so many newsletters that you become overloaded if you're not careful. So how do you guys avoid that? Just being flooded with information, and information overload, and maintaining focus.
Well, it's like I say, you do kind of pick out, you've got maybe a dozen newsletters that you kind of follow on a regular basis. And then every once in a while, somebody new will come along that you fall in love with your newsletter. But with the AI world, it's you can fall behind so quickly because things are changing so fast. And the interesting thing, though, is that if you take the right newsletters, it keeps you on top of things. And I tend to go for the newsletters that are from people that have the time to do more testing and trial and error type things so that I don't have to. So the newsletters that I tend to go for are probably the ones that the ordinary chat user or AI user is probably not going to be taking because they are a little geekier than normal.
Right.
But that to me, I don't have the time to go out and test all of the systems that are out there and all of the new AI that's coming up. So I really rely on probably half a dozen newsletters in particular that I monitor. And I usually set aside like a couple of hours on a Saturday and I just dive in and just start scanning. I take notes of what I want to include in my own newsletter for the week. But yeah, it can be overwhelming. You really have to be kind of selective, but I don't even want to discuss how many newsletters I'm actually subscribed to. It would be embarrassing.
Mel's list is insane. I'm a little
Yeah.
different. I have 7 newsletters at any given time. I will only read 7 because I can't go beyond that. But on the other hand, I have about 6 memberships on school, and all of them are dealing with AI in some way, either vibe coding or learning N8N or make.com or a combination of both, or someone who's into high-end prompting, because that is necessary for us to have the richness
Yeah.
and the depth for us to be able to create and talk and teach about AI to our audience. And that's important. They come to us because we can break it down into basic 1, 2, 3 items that they can wrap their heads around and then actually work with it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we touch bases several times a day. And so if Sharon gets something through her process flow that I should be aware of, or if I get something in my newsletter, it's like, oh, hey, you need to see this and you need to see this. So we're
Right.
not duplicating the resources that we are monitoring. So it works out really well.
Yeah. I found myself at one time trying to keep up with too many large language models and too many
Yeah.
things, and felt like I was falling behind. And I said, well, and I also, at times wanted to use the LL, large language model, for example, that was the leader in the field. And I've learned to give up on that because they flip flop. So
Yeah,
Chat GPT
they
is
do.
my main one right now. Um, but how do you avoid the feeling that you are falling behind?
Oh, you don't.
Yeah. Every morning you wake up and it's just like you said, last week VO3 was the top video model. This week it's Sora 2. So no, you kind of like you said, you're using ChatGPT. That's your favorite LLM right now. I think, everybody finds something that they have a comfort level with, something that just simply seems to resonate with them, whether it's the process flow or the results that you're getting back. It doesn't make any difference. You don't have to know all of the models that are out there. You find something that you like, that you work with, and that it's easily trainable on what your particular style and flow is. That's where you're going to stay. And the thing is, no matter which model you choose, whether it's chat or it's Gemini or whichever, they're all growing, they're all changing, they're all advancing to keep up with each other. So you find one that fits your comfort level and your work style, stay with it. You're not going to fall behind it because it's going to continue to improve.
Right.
Absolutely.
They're
I mean, I use
continuing
3. I've narrowed it
use.
down to 3. So Perplexity is for when I'm doing deep research. I use Claude for writing my newsletters to PLR because it writes better letters about PLR, probably because I trained it better. And then ChatGPT is for ideation and a couple of other things like that. But I now don't have to worry about, well, can Claude do this? Because I'm not asking Claude to do this. I'm not asking
Yeah.
Perplexity to take on more than it can do. So the Perplexity is never going to have a real good personality. It's a numbers thing.
Yeah,
So,
that's not what it was designed for.
yeah.
Um, and one of the things too, I think people need to understand is you keep saying you're not a real technical person. People don't need to be technical in order to use these tools. There's a huge difference between creating new ones like Sharon and I are doing versus using the technology. And when it
Mhm.
comes right down to it, if you're capable of typing a paragraph or even 3 or 4 sentences, you can use most AI tools. That's
Yeah.
all you need to know is how to type, how to put in a couple of sentences to ask some questions, and it will come back. ChatGPT, for example, I did a sales letter in it the other day, and by the time we were done, I put in 2 sentences, and it did the outline, the sales letter, the emails to go
The
with it, the swipe
bonuses.
copy, the bonuses, the whole 9 yards. Because we talk about prompting the AI. When you start working with the AI, and I'm like Sharon, I use chat for so many different uses. But when I put in the initial question or query or project into ChatGPT, it's going to answer that initial query, and then it's going to come back and prompt me and
Mhm.
say, "Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that?" I'm like, there. It comes back with ideas that I didn't even think of, you know.
Right.
And by the time it's done, it's given me more than a dozen different aspects to a sales page that I probably wouldn't have thought, or if I did, I didn't want to take the time to do it myself.
Yes.
So, 30 minutes of working with ChatGPT equates to probably 3 days of creation time for me as a human being.
Mhm.
So, none of it was technical. It starts with typing a couple of sentences, and that is how friendly most of these AI tools are. And that's what we want people to understand. You don't need to be a tech geek. You don't need to be a nerd. All you need is be able to type a couple of sentences, and
Right.
it can take over the workload for you.
And if you're a slow typist, you can use something like ChatGPT in the voice mode or dictate mode.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
talk out,
Absolutely.
talk it out, and then and you can also use something like ChatGPT um, to write prompts that you can drop into other software, other models.
Oh,
You can say,
yes.
give me the
Absolutely.
prompt to use. And that's one of the things I use it for. I also use it, I'm an affiliate marketer. And when you promote someone else's product, they'll often give you swipe copy. And
Hmm.
I drop the swipe copy into Chat GPT and say, rewrite it in the voice of my favorite copywriter, whoever, or certain copywriters. And
Hmm.
I may say write in the voice of Gary Halbert, and if that doesn't do well when I mail it, then I'll say, okay, write it in the voice of Dan Kennedy or Alex Hormozy or whatever, and that's how I test different
Absolutely.
versions. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so it is a
Dan
powerful
Kennedy is
And
tool.
always a winner.
oh, yes. You can do the same thing with PLR too.
Yes.
We've all, I won't say all, but 99% of us in the internet marketing space have got a hard drive full of PLR. And you can take that PLR, especially like Willie, you and I have, we've got our GPTs trained in our voice and our style. You can take that PLR, drop a PDF into whichever large language model you want to use, and it will come back with a version that is written more in your personality that sounds more original to you. And it's going to be a completely unique piece.
And authentic
There's,
information.
yes,
Uh, Way that I use GPT, getting off topic a little, but is I'll give it a PDF that's long and I don't feel like reading it and say, summarize this. And
yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that saves a lot
exactly.
of time. Like I'll, maybe have a 200, 300 page PDF and it'll just summarize it. And I can specify how in depth I want it summarized. So it's a time saver,
It
certainly.
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I have a whole storage of PDFs from PLR from one particular writer, and I use her work more for ideation because she's already done, the basics, the outline. She's got the article titles and everything, but it's not in my style. It's kind of dry, and I tend to write the way I talk. Sort of a sense of humor and a little smart alecky sometimes. But that's the style that my readers are used to, and so I drop that content into chat, for example, and it changes it so much. I can take an 80-page document that is dry and I don't want to go through, like you said, I don't feel like reading the whole thing. I can take an 80-page document and wind up with about 25 pages that is crisp, moves quickly, and gets the message across beautifully, but in a style and in a time frame that I know my readers will enjoy. And
right.
so, that is one of the best ways. And somebody asked me the other day, why are you still buying PLR if you're so good with using chat? Well, it's real simple. You still have to come up with the original idea, and this is somebody who has done the research. This is somebody who's done all that ideation process first. So I don't have to. So it's still a time saver. As Sharon said, PLR is still a shortcut to the end result.
Yes.
And taking that PLR and now running it through, whether it's Gemini or chat, once again, you're taking that shortcut and making it even better than what it was to start with.
Right.
Yeah. I do use ChatGPT to do some research. So I've put it in the deep research mode and I'll ask it something like, I'm going to create a product on this, or I'm launching a product in this arena. Who's my competitors? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And it'll go out there and it'll find complaints that people have made about the competitor's product
Oh,
and
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
describe the point and what's good about it, what's bad about it. And I use that feature a lot. I lean heavily on AI. It saves a lot of time. What do you think the best opportunities are right now for ordinary, you call them homepreneurs, instead
Hmm.
of entrepreneurs, because we're all mostly home-based. Some of us pretend to be working from a large office with a huge staff. But where do you see the best opportunities now for them, though?
Oh, wow. There's so many. Faceless, well, first of all, the faceless content is, which is
Mm.
easy because for a lot of people, they are extroverted, introverted extrovert. When they have to be on, they will be on. But if the choice is not to be on, then they will go with that one. And that's fine because those channels on YouTube are gaining in popularity. And there's so many different niches that you can actually create your own lane in and garner those people, getting them on your email list, and then being able to sell them something without having to do a massive launch. Because
Mm.
you can build a really good list there because they're coming back because they're interested in the topic that you're offering. So that's the easiest one, I think. The AI agents is huge. Melody and I have some AI agents that we're planning. Um, some of the more common ones are like answering basic emails, answering basic help desk questions, sending out your bills if you actually have a company that invoices at the end of the month. Those kinds of things, those everyday repetitive tasks, those particular agents can actually step in and help you. Even answering the phone, if you actually have one of those brick and mortar stores, or you have
Right.
a service industry where there is a phone call and a help desk, someone live at the help desk. You don't have to have a live person there anymore. You can have an AI agent, and they've even reduced the cost of being able to make those calls.
Yeah.
So it's so wide open, and the fact that when they do it, the last survey I read, 1% of the population is actually fluent in using Chat GPT. We won't even get
Mm.
into Claude or Perplexity. So it's wide open for training. It's wide open for offering services or done for you services. Um, I I see it as limitless. I'm 67, so I don't want people to think that you have to be 50 and under to get this. You don't.
And the
You're
interesting
60.
thing too, Sharon just mentioned talking about brick and mortar businesses. When so many of us in our little insulated internet marketing world, we use ChatGPT on a daily basis. We're used to it. We're comfortable with it. You talk to small business owners, and it is like magic to them. They know that they need to have these different services. They know they need to learn, but they have no idea where to start. They don't have the resources available, that we all get every day in our inbox. They don't see all the new products that are launching. They simply hear about it. They know they need to learn more about it. They know that they're going to have to use it at some point. That is an entire open marketplace to go out and sell AI related or AI enhanced services to small businesses. So if you deal with, brick and mortar clients, if you've got an agency, this is a new realm that people should be looking at, because if you go to Fiverr, for example, and look at what some of the Fiverr jobs are price wise, this pays very well for very minor task that you need to perform. So there are so many opportunities out there right now. This is like the beginning of the internet all over again. This is an AI boom, and
It
we're right
is.
at the beginning of it. This is the very early stages. Even though we have seen so much in advances in the past year, this is still just the very tip of the iceberg.
We know
Yeah,
it is because some of the changes happen in the middle of building a robot. The changes,
Yeah.
platform changes. So
yes.
before we can get it to launch, it's changed again. So yeah.
Yeah. Been
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
I live in several worlds, including the world of offline business. I used to be a very active member of Glacier Kennedy Inner Circle, and Dan would teach that most brick and mortar business owners are too busy to learn something new. You know,
Yes.
they're busy worried about if an employer or a supplier or an employee or supplier ask how business how they're doing. If they tell the employee they're doing well, then the employee is going to ask for a raise. If they tell the supplier they're doing well, the supplier is going to raise the prices. If they tell a bank they're doing well, the banker may raise interest rates, but if they tell the banker the business is doing poorly, the banker restricts the flow of cash, and then
Yeah.
that brick and mortar business owners worried about everybody stealing from them, the shoplifters, the suppliers, so
Yeah.
they don't have time to learn these new
They're just trying
skills.
to survive,
Yeah.
basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
But for
go ahead.
But for something as simple for a brick and mortar business, if you're breaking into trying to offer services, everybody needs traffic. But and there's an AI agent that will go out and via your zip code actually email every single person whatever your latest sale is, or your menu of the week, or something that's going to bring more people to your store. And whether it's an internet store or a brick and mortar store, it's the same product, the same AI agent that's actually going to go out and do that.
Yeah, and some people would worry about things like being accused of spam. If you're dealing with businesses who published their business email address and phone number, if it's a business email address and phone number, and it's public information, then you're not breaking any law by contacting them, offering them goods and
Correct.
Right.
services, right? If you somehow got a list of private emails and phone numbers, that's a different thing, But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I use an agent that, for example, scrapes LinkedIn. All those business owners want to be followed up with, contacted about things that are appropriate for them. So, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. And every small business owner out there, like Sharon said, they're looking for more traffic. They're looking for more exposure. There's just so many simple things that AI brings to the table right now that, again, to the small business owner seems like magic, but we're used to doing it every day, but the small business owner is not. So that is such an open marketplace. It isn't even funny. And I think too many people are overlooking that marketplace right now. Even just simple things such as offering classes to train local business owners on the uses of AI. Doesn't have to be an in-depth class, but an introductory class is going to bring you a lot of traffic and a lot of potential clients and leads. And you don't have to do them in person. There's so many resources today, Meetup and Eventbrite and all the rest of those, um, to help you reach the local marketplace. It's a great
Yeah,
opportunity.
and there are AI platforms such as Alignable, where a lot of
Yes,
local business owners are members, and they're organized into communities, and so it's easy to reach those people. And
absolutely.
you're correct, AI is magic to a lot of them, and so and I've noticed a lot of certification programs coming out where people are certified AI trainers and things like that. So that's
Yes.
maybe worth getting uh, trained in, I don't know. You guys offer some type of certification?
Not yet, but we're talking about it. That is
Mhm.
a topic that has come up this week because we've had so many people ask.
Okay, okay. So you sort of answered the question, the next one, which was how do you see AI tools fitting into the workflow of the average home-based business or even the brick and mortar business?
I think there's so many aspects right now where it can fit, and it is everything that's taking more time than what you have available for it. It fits into those things that we know that we need to do, but we don't have the time for, like marketing. How many small business owners are doing the amount of marketing that they should be doing? And it is not always a cost issue. More times than not, it is a time issue. You know that you should be doing social media. Do you have the time to do it? No. Can a bot go out and do that for you? Yes, it can. You know that you should be maintaining your blog. Do you have the time to do it? No. Can Blogsy do it for you? Yes. So yeah, I think it's going to come down to allowing small business owners to scale their business more easily without blood, sweat, and tears. And at a point that's cost effective, you no longer have to spend $297 a month, to be on some particular platform that does these things for you. Bots are generally, a one fee up front, and that's pretty much it. They run forever. So,
Yeah, I know a lot of both brick and mortar businesses and homepreneurs uh, fall flat or fail in maintaining customer service. And so,
yes,
and that could be as simple as a bot that you feed it your FAQs and it just responds, pulling those out of a database. And,
yeah,
and so, and Sharon mentioned it handling phone calls too. So again, the phone call, it could pull the answer from the database, and so now you're offering 24/7 customer service to an extent. If there's something the
yes.
bot can't handle it, then it reaches out to you, it still gets back to you within a reasonable, gets back to the customer within a reasonable amount of time.
And that communication is so important, whether it's with a human or somebody who can at least answer questions. If that bot can say, I'm going to pass this to our human support system, you'll hear back from them within 5 to 6 hours, a day, whatever. It's still better than just simply having a contact form.
Yeah, people like to know that they're being heard. So if you
Yes.
Right.
fill out a form and you don't know when it's going to be responded to or whatever, that's sort of frustrating. And I
Very.
personally have lost sales from not responding fast enough, to somebody's query. They said, okay, sorry, but we've already gone with someone else, for that service. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah, they do expect us to be awake 24/7.
yes, they do. So, um,
We've all been there with that one.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yes.
so what's next for you two? I know you mentioned workshops. Is that one of the things in the schedule?
Sharon, you want to take that?
Yes, we want to do more workshops. We want to do um, more in-depth training to make people to help people become more comfortable with using different aspects of AI and building their own robots. We've also been, let's see, Mel, how many requests have we had for a membership?
Oh my gosh. Since our first launch of the first batch of bots in May, and we do have a membership that will be launching sometime very soon. well, I won't say we, I will say Sharon has worked very hard to come up with a format that um, is not only value driven, but also makes sense for us as content creators as well, which, you know, you're always kind of juggling that value versus workflow for us as well, you know, because we're not 25 anymore. We want to have a life. So
Yes.
you try and juggle those things. But I think we have come up with a membership format we're really excited about. And so that's going to be the next one up for us, probably about 2 weeks away from now. But and maybe even a little sooner. But again, we're doing it in our own style. It's going to be something that's fun. We try very hard to keep our trainings, although value packed and certainly information packed, we also try to keep it fun and not intimidating. I think that's probably the most important factor for us, is that everyone feels like they can step in and be a part of it. So Sharon, you want to talk a little bit about what we're doing with the membership?
Um, yes. So one of the things we want to do is not overwhelm people for one.
Yes.
Uh, and we want to respect the levels that you come in at. It's open to everyone, but we are going to offer two levels because there's the level of people who simply want the information or want whatever the drop is for the month, and they will handle it on their own. And then the second one is a little bit more intense because those people want in-depth knowledge on how this robot was built. What else can I do with this robot? How do I fit this into my business and make it run? And how do I sell it? So that's going to be a little bit more hands-on than level one. So for that reason, we have two levels. And I think that what we're offering in each one is great because there will be lots of AI training, lots of self-training. We're going to do some hot seat coaching. We're going to do some customized GPTs. And we're going to offer something that almost no one offers, and that's Melody's specialty there with the websites. You want to talk about that, Mel?
Yeah. We know from feedback from our customers, from our readers, that a lot of folks are going into that sort of agency mode where they're going to be actually selling these services. And so the second tier is also going to include an agency level website. And every month, for whatever new drops that we have, products that will come with master resale rights, so they will be able to sell these products on to their own customers, will include a full JSON file. So all they do is import that JSON file into the website. And so they'll have a product and sales page ready to go. So that's going to be one of the features baked into this membership. So it's kind of every month you're going to get a little mini business in a box, basically.
Mm-hmm. We're
Yeah,
excited.
Sharon mentioned NHN. I played with it, and first time I looked at a JSON file, I'm like, wow, it does
Yes.
look a little scary, but it's not.
No, it's
No, it's not. And in this particular case, the websites are built out on what is my favorite website builder, Elegant Thieves Divi website. And the way Divi is laid out, all you have to do is just go in and import the file, and page is done, hands off. So you go in, import the file, change your payment link, and that's it. So that's going to be a big part of the membership that we're launching. Like I
I can
say, it's
see
basically a
joining
mini
your
business in a
membership.
box. Yeah.
Yes, and the fact that your PLR often comes with full PLR
Yes.
rights too. That's extremely powerful. Anyone who I've like you said, have a hard drive, have several hard drives full of PLR,
Yes.
and
Yes.
because I've been collecting it for years, and I've been a member of several membership sites where I get PLR every month
Oh,
sometimes,
yes. We're all guilty of that. Yes.
Mhm.
and we never get around to using a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
And
you're
we
gonna
are combining the best of both worlds. You know, we're creating the bots and the GPTs, but we are also at heart content creators, and we both use, love, and create and buy PLRs. So all of our bots, all of our GPTs, all come with master resale rights. My theory when it comes to PLR, I believe in offering unrestricted PLR. On the theory that if I buy a black dress at Macy's, Macy's doesn't care what I do with that black dress after I walk out the door with it. They don't care if I wear it out to a gala for dinner on Saturday night, or if I mop the kitchen floor, or I line my canary's cage with it. I don't want to be policing people who buy my PLR. I don't want to be having to track down and threaten people because they're not using it correctly. You bought it, it's yours. You can
Yeah,
do what
and
you
I
want
guess
with it.
the opposite thinking would be certain people buying it and then devaluing, selling it too cheaply or whatever, and ruining the market for others who might use it.
The problem with that is in the United States, we can't require a minimum price. We can't say you have to sell it for X dollars because that is a violation of Federal Trade Commission regulations.
Right? That's
So
price
you can
fixing.
have, yeah, you can have a manufacturer's suggested retail price, but I can't cut anybody off and I can't require anybody to actually sell it at a specific price or even over a specific price. So anybody who does that now, if you live outside the United States, a lot of countries still allow that, but here in the US, we can't do that. So
Yeah,
But
I
it's
guess the
a
only way you could control price is if you license something rather than selling them the PLR, the rights. Yeah.
exactly,
right,
exactly.
but to keep that from happening, when you get your PLR, you should actually strip all the graphics out of it anyway, all the colors out of it anyway, and then start fresh. And that way, it doesn't matter how many are on the market, they don't look like yours. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I think I've sort of already asked the question, what's next for you? But I'm sure that there's other things you're considering. Do you survey your market and ask them what products, for example, what PLR products they
Oh,
want?
we
Or
don't have to survey our market because they tell us what
they
they
tell us what they
want.
want. Yeah, they're very
Yeah,
vocal. Uh,
very.
good. Yeah,
Um,
and
we we have a different kind of relationship with most of our customers. We actually do a lot of live events, so we're very very involved in communicating with our readers. And we each have our own newsletters, but we have our joint audience, and they're very vocal. They tell us what they're looking for. If we do something they don't like, we know real quick.
mm,
They're very vocal both ways. But overall, pretty much the products that we are creating, one of which is Sharon is working on, is for creating lo-fi channels, and that is purely customer driven because we have had so many requests for it. And so that's, yeah, our customer feedback, it shapes everything that we do.
good. And I can see myself both using your PLR and enjoying, some of your training, especially the
We'd
AI
love to have
training.
you.
I, I've been, I didn't come in 2022 when ChatGPT first came out, but I probably spent close to 2,000 hours studying AI, and a lot of it's been, watching YouTube videos. You'll see somebody will say this is a comprehensive training or whatever, and it might be 2 or 3 hours. I've actually sat patiently and gone through some of those, and so I have all this scattered knowledge, and so it'd be nice to sort of consolidate it now, Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so I'm looking
Um,
forward to that actually. Um, for it's been going for about an hour now, so we can go ahead and sort of wrap it up. But did I not cover anything that you would like to share with the audience?
I think you covered pretty
I
much
think you,
everything. What do you think, Sharon?
I think you covered pretty much everything. Um,
Okay,
yeah.
for the people who want to follow you, get in touch with you, are you active on social media?
We do
What's the
have
best way for them to get in touch with you?
our I'm sorry. We have two email
Probably our,
addresses.
yes, go ahead.
The first one is goodness, nimbleaf72 at gmail.com.
Okay.
And the second one is support at gptsandbotsunleashed.com.
And they can
So,
come visit us and see all of our bots at GPT,
With an S.
GPTS and botsunleashed.com. So that's our website, GPTs and botsunleashed.com. And that's where all of our bots are. We have 9 bots and I think about 14 custom GPTs
Mhm.
available on the website. And we will also be putting together a special offer for you as well. So we'll send you the details on that.
Okay.
And we'll give everybody a 50% off coupon. And so we will have that set up. That will be set up under Willie VIP.
Okay.
And that will be
And I will
50%
put
off.
all of this in the notes, the transcript or show notes on the all the channels that I shared on, and I'll share it across
Perfect.
YouTube
Thank you.
plus 61 other channels. A lot of them are audio only, and for those that are audio only,
Mhm.
I will set it up so that even there they can pick up a URL or whatever to get in touch with you. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you for having us today. It's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure for me too. And you know, being in the same age group, or demographic, I no longer feel old. I notice neither one of you have totally gray hair like I do, and I've been told I
Oh,
should
I
dye
do.
mine.
I live in a log cabin and I get this yellow reflection from the pine wood. Trust
Uh,
me, my hair's about the same color as yours.
and mine will actually fade out in the background. I need to get a full
Mine
color
does the same
background set
thing.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You guys have a nice day, though.
Thank you so
You
much.
too. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Willie.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.